Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're actually working on the bike. I was riding it the other day and I noticed I had a leak coming from my connector that connects my master cylinder, my front brake reservoir to my master cylinder. This connector right here, and there's literally no YouTube videos at all on how to replace this, so I'm going to go ahead and make a quick YouTube video for you guys right now. First and foremost, you're going to want to empty out your reservoir before you take it so you can minimize the amount of fluid that leaks after you take it off. And then following that, you're going to pretty much want to take off the dust guard, which mine didn't have, and then take off the C-clip, and following that you're going to take off this rubber grommet. And then once you actually have everything up and are ready to put this back in, pretty much you just do the reverse. You're going to take your rubber O-ring, put it on the bottom of your new connector, and then you're going to put it back in. This is obviously the old one. When you go to put this new rubber O-ring on the new connector, make sure you lube it up with a little bit of brake fluid. What I did was I just took the cap off and rubbed it around the cap to get just a little bit of excess fluid around my O-ring. But after that, you just come back here and you stick it in there, and now we have our C-clip right here. And what we're going to use is our special C-clip pliers, and we're just going to go like this and get our prongs in the holes. This is a lot harder when you're recording. So you got them in the prongs in the holes, and I'm just going to squeeze it so you can get your C-clip into the hole, and just make sure you get it down in there. And now like that, we have the C-clip inside the reservoir. What we're going to do is just push it down so it sits fully flush. We get our guard on there. You can just use the pliers, or even a flathead might work for this a little bit better. Just push it down. I'm probably going to get these clips back in here. Swap hands. Tactical swap. Let's see, get these back in the hole. I'm struggling. That's a lot better. There we go. So now we're all the way in there. You can see we're sitting flush with the plastic at the bottom. And now what we do next is, one, just make sure that C-clip is in there. So take your pliers, try and move it around. If it's not moving, you should be safe. But now what we're going to want to do is take our new rubber dust guard, slip it over the nipple right here, like so, and just all the way around it. Like that. And now, with that new dust guard over it, just press it down. Make sure it's suctioned in there. And now we are going to put our reservoir back on. So it's just going to stick it back onto the nipple. Make sure it's all the way on there. Nice and snug. And then we're going to back it off a little bit. Take our pliers, move our clip back up to the front so it actually is secured on there. To get that a little bit further on there. There we go. I like that better. So now that we are on there, just going to clip this back up like so. And that, guys, is pretty much how you replace your master cylinder connector. apparently my 10 mil socket is out and about on an adventure because I don't see it anywhere. The notorious 10 mil socket always finds a way to disappear. How does that always happen? Where is it? Are you the 10 mil socket? You are my 10 mil socket. I'm just going to want to tighten this back up. Just make it snug. Don't want to go too crazy and strip that. But that is going to be how you replace your master cylinder connector from your front reservoir to your master cylinder. Now, what we have to do is bleed our brakes so that we have all the air out of the lines. I might include that in that video. We'll see. Yeah, sure, why not? Let's get stuff ready to bleed the brakes and make this a 2-in-1. Alright, so here's the setup we have to bleed the brakes. What you're going to need to avoid any kind of leakage is just get a hose that fits around your bleeder valve and just put it into a water bottle or some kind of container, so when you break the seal, it flows out and into there and doesn't make a mess. For this socket, it looks like maybe an 8mm. Let me find that out and I'll get back to you guys. Alright, so what you want to do next is fill up your reservoir as high as you can, and then just go ahead and place a paper towel over the top like this, just to keep it sealed a little bit and make sure nothing gets in there. And as you're doing this, you're going to want to pump your brakes like this. And then when you're at the bottom at your bleeder hose, when you pump it like this, you're going to crack it, let it bleed out. Once it stops bleeding, tighten your bleeder bolt back up, and then you can let go of your hose. But you want to make sure not to let the reservoir become empty when you're doing this process. So just be mindful of your reservoir when you're doing this. But let's get right into that. Alright, so you're going to pump your brakes. Pump it like 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to hold it squeezed down, and now we're going to break the seal. Maybe I'm going the wrong way. No, should be this way. Oh, what the heck. Some technical difficulties going on here. That's my bleeder. Should be breaking it like this, right? Alright, and then we're going to now shut it again. And after we shut it, then we can release our brakes. It's going to stay there. Check our reservoir. And we're going to add some more fluid. And then just repeat the process over and over again. Alright, so after we get this installed, I was wrong about the sequence on bleeding the brakes and whatnot. You're going to want to start from this top bleeder hose right here. You squeeze it like so, and then you break the breeder bolt so your lever decompresses all the way down, and then you tighten your bolt back up so it closes it, and then you release the lever. If you release the lever before you reclose your bleeder bolt, you're going to let air back into the lines. So make sure you don't do that. So you're going to do the bleeder bolt on your master cylinder, and then you're going to come around to the left side of the bike and do your front lift caliper down here. Where's the light? Give you guys some light. And then you're going to do your front left caliper right here, which is your bleeder bolt right there. As you can see, right there is going to be your bleeder bolt. You do that until you have no more air, and then repeat the same process on the right side. Same idea over here. Pump your brake lever, break your bleeder bolt so it opens, release the fluid out, and then close it and then release your brake lever so you don't let air back into your lines. And then do that same process for your other one right here. That's going to be your bleeder bolt. I just finished up here, and that's why I saw that now. I was cleaning up, but that's going to be your third and last bleeder bolt right there. And then that is going to sum up your, let's see if I can do this really quick. That is going to sum up your master cylinder repair with a bleed after, so you don't have squishy brakes. So that's going to wrap up this video, guys. And just to go over what we replaced was this connector right here. That is going to be the connector from your front reservoir to your master cylinder, and you don't want to do that if like you have a leaky connection right here or any kind of leaks around here. But it could also be your hose causing the problem, but I was pretty positive it was my actual connector, so that's why I replaced that. And like I said before, I didn't see any videos online when it came to this repair, so that's why I made it. Just because I know myself personally, I am a visual learner, so hopefully this video makes it to you if you do end up having to do this repair yourself. And I would assume this is pretty universal with all brakes that use this kind of master cylinder connector. So if this helped you out, leave me a like, comment, and subscribe, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.